Hi, I'm Aliza D, and here's some thoughts on this week's Bible reading. The great thing about Facebook and social media is that we get to keep in touch with people and meet people we never knew. But the bad part is, we get to see each other's lives in real time, and that can spark a lot of envy. Some people seem to always be posting how great their lives are, while others don't feel quite as lucky. We all know some person who seems to have it all. And as we compare our own circumstances to theirs, it's hard not to be jealous and ask, why them and not me? Unfortunately, jealousy, instead of motivating us to be better and do better, more often inspires us to ruin others, to gossip about them, boycott them, sabotage them, frankly and simply because they make us look bad. But before we start envying others, perhaps we should ask ourselves if we have really used all the gifts God has given us and developed them and worked on them and turned them into greatness. Or do we lazily watch life go by and envy everyone else who has the guts to get off the couch and be all that they can be? Here's a news alert. Being jealous of the skinny girl won't make you skinny. The treadmill might. Being jealous of your rich brother-in-law won't make you rich, but rolling up your sleeves might. Forget about heart disease. It's jealousy that's the silent killer. The core of envy is the desire to be as great as someone else. But the root of happiness is learning to be great at being you. Each man has his own lot in life. You're not meant to be the other guy. He wasn't meant to be you. It's said that when we die, on our day of judgment before God, He won't ask us why we weren't as good as someone else. All will be asked is, why weren't you as good as you can be? In this week's Bible portion, we read about Joseph and his brothers' jealousy of him, a jealousy that led to a plot to kill him. Instead, his brothers changed their mind, threw him into a pit, and sold him into slavery. But his brothers were so busy looking at Joseph, hating him, envying him, that they forgot to look at themselves and recognize their own great talents. They were the future 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people, each one destined for greatness. But instead of putting their focus and energy on how high they could go, they decided to dig a pit for their brother and proved how low they can go. It's interesting, from all the commandments, coveting your neighbor, being jealous of your neighbor, is the only one that's not observable. In other words, if you break the Sabbath, or you kill, or you steal, those actions can be seen with the eye. Yet jealousy, coveting, they're invisible. They live in the heart, but really they're the worst violations of all. Because those feelings of wanting and envying what another has, the sages teach, lead a person to break all the other commandments. From envy, one thing leads to another, and though it may start off invisible, its ugliness shows up soon enough on guilty faces. Friends, there is really only one way to look good in life, and it's not by digging a pit for others, but instead by building meaningful platforms for ourselves. One cannot truly rise in life by bringing others to their knees, but rather by getting off of our own.